welcome to another weekly session of Rich Habits, Poor Habits with Michael Yardney and Tom Corley. Hi Tom, welcome to another session.
Hey Michael, it's good to be back.
Now, if you've been following Tom and me in these weekly videos, you know that we speak about the habits of the rich, the habits of the poor, and how you can become more wealthy, more successful in your life and in business by learning the rich habits and letting go of some of the habits that are not moving you forward. Remember, we're all driving around with one foot on the accelerator and one on the brake, so that you've got some rich habits that are helping you move forward and others that aren't. We've actually covered a lot of them in our new book, Tom, Rich Habits, Poor Habits. And even though it hasn't been officially released yet, we're doing a book launch shortly, we're getting a lot of great pre-publicity and people are getting it on our website, aren't they, Tom?
Yeah, we are. We're getting good feedback. I'm getting it through emails primarily right now, but I also get a few on social media, Facebook in particular. So yeah, we're just trying to get the word out there. It's like we said in our last session, we really haven't started promoting this because the book is only out as an ebook right now. It hasn't even gotten into the bookstores yet.
Well, it has in Australia and it's doing very well coming to the United States. But Tom, our underlying philosophy is that the rich people do certain things and poor people do different things, which we're calling habits, that determine where they end up. So today I'd like to ask you a question about how do you actually go about forging a new habit? Now, I understand the first one is to recognize your poor habits, and that's what we outline in detail in our book and in our daily blogs. But once you realize you've got a bad habit, how do you replace it with a good habit, Tom?
Well, there's really 4 tricks, I guess you could call them, to forging a new habit. One is, I call it habit stacking. It's basically changing the things that trigger a habit to take place. So let's say you have an existing habit of drinking coffee and you want to add a new habit of drinking water. Well, you can take your coffee cup and put it, wherever you get your water from. And so when you have that coffee, there you go. When you have that coffee habit, that trigger, when we walk in and we turn on our computer and there's the time trigger that says, oh, it's coffee time. You get up and you say, where's my cup? Where's my cup? I can't find my cup. You realize, oh, that's right. I put it by the water cooler. Within a couple of days, that new habit of drinking water, it will become a new joint habit because you've engaged in one of the tricks, which is habit stacking. You stack one habit on another.
That makes a lot of sense, Tom. I think one of the other things I've recognized from your writings is that one should start small. Don't try and do it all at once.
Yeah, so for example, one of the rich habits is reading every day. I found that rich people read 30 minutes or more every day for self-education. Well, you might say, that's a great idea, I'm going to try that. And my recommendation will be to you, put on the brakes a little bit here. Why don't you just devote 5 or 10 minutes every day to reading? Don't try and go for the full 30 minutes. And here's the reason, Michael. It's a lot easier to do 5 minutes of reading than to do 30 minutes of reading. You'll find an excuse not to do the 30 minutes. But what happens is when you do that 5 minutes, because you realize it's such a small mountain to climb, you get the neurons firing in your brain, and you start creating the neural pathway that eventually will become a habit. So if you form this habit, this 5-minute habit, it's so much easier to add another 5 minutes and then another 5 minutes, and before you know it, you can do the same thing with exercise. Instead of going out there for an hour to the gym, just do 15 minutes a day, and then you can build on that small habit because the neural pathway is already formed.
That makes a lot of sense, Tom. In fact, I missed gym today. That's 5 years in a row now that I've missed gym. But Tom, I'm busy. My life's busy. How do I get reminders to do this? Because life seems to get in the way when I decide to make a new habit.
Yeah, so what I've done is I've pre-populated my to-do list with 5 rich habits that I want to engage in every day. and it pops up on my Outlook, and I can't ignore it, Michael, because until you do it, the habit, engage in the habit, it keeps popping up. It's annoying. So you end up engaging in whatever the habit is. For me, it's did you read today, or did you exercise today, or did you do anything? And so I tick them off as I get them done. They come right off my to-do list, and they serve as a reminder to engage in these habits. And what happens is, because in the beginning you've got this reminder system, it takes the reminders. It takes a little while for the reminders to I guess become irrelevant. Eventually, like for me, I don't even need to be reminded now to write every day, to read every day, to exercise. It's become a habit, so I don't even need that. And here's the beauty of this process, of this strategy. Once it becomes a habit, now you can take your to-do list and remove the old habits you were trying to forge that you now have, and add new ones. So these reminder systems really work. I think they're fabulous. You could have them on your phone and on your computer or wherever.
That's a really good idea, Tom, and I guess it's just like an unreasonable friend tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, it's time to do your writing, your reading, your exercise. Tom, what about hanging around with other people? Does that help?
Yeah, well, we know it helps because I have a number of studies that I cite in my writing and in my media interviews. One of them in particular highlights the fact that your habits are spread like a virus throughout your social networks. So if you associate with people who, for example, they exercise a lot and they become part of your group, now you're hanging around with them, their habits are going to infect you. If you hang out with people who are good savers, their habits are going to infect you. If you hang out with people who are readers, their habits are going to infect you. So you want to associate with the people that have the habits that you want, and their habits will infect you like a virus.
So that's 4 ways that you can start forging new habits and letting go of bad habits. Tom, thanks. That was great. Clearly, that's some of the information that we give in our great book, Rich Habits, Poor Habits. If you've enjoyed this video, watching it, please pass it forward to somebody. Like us on Facebook, on Twitter, subscribe to our blogs, but help somebody else as well. Pass it forward, just like we're passing forward our information to you. Tom, thanks for your time, and I look forward to catching up with you again next week.
I can't wait, Michael.